If you want to understand Christianity, read Bible. If you want to understand a narcissist, read a myth about Narcissus. Today we're going to talk about symbolism behind a myth about Narcissus. Hi, my name is Mona Romanska. I'm certified life coach, and we are talking today about hidden messages in a myth about Narcissus. Those who forgot what is that myth about, I'm going to talk about it briefly, just mentioning the main plot. So Narcissus was a very handsome young man who was the son of a god of river and a nymph. The prophet Narcissus promised that the boy will live as long as he doesn't look at himself. So here is the first clue. The boy all his life was not allowed to know, to see who he really was. There is no identity here, and that is crucial for understanding what Narcissus is. But coming back to the plot of the story, Narcissus was so attractive that many boys and girls and nymphs in the forest just craved his attention, but he unfortunately was indifferent. One day, when he was lost in the forest, and here I want to emphasize an important thing, his friends left him on his own, so he got lost, which means that in reality, in the world of Narcissus, there is nobody to count on. He has to take care of himself on his own. Again, coming back to the story. When he got lost in the forest, a beautiful nymph named Echo was madly in love with him. But Echo was cursed. She was not able to speak. The only way she could communicate was repeating the last word. That's why we know the word Echo. And Echo decided to show up in front of your love of your life. And Narcissus, when he saw her, he pushed her away. Echo was so devastated that she died out of her love. And Aphrodite decided to do revenge on Narcissus for breaking heart of Echo. So Aphrodite declared that one day you, proud Narcissus, will fall in love with somebody who will never return your love. That love will never be reciprocated. So one day the boy went to the shore and bent down to have some water and suddenly saw a beautiful man as his reflection. He instantly fell in love with what he saw. The reflection beckoned him. He even leaned towards that reflection to kiss it, but all he felt was just water. Oh, woe to me! No one will endure the same torment. My love is not blocked by seas and mountains. All I have between us is just a thin layer of water, and I cannot be with my love. It's better to die. And at the end, he died. That's when a myth about Narcissus was born. And when nymphs prepared the grave for Narcissus and came back for his body was gone. And instead, they saw beautiful white petal flower with gentle fragrance. And now we know that that flower is called Narcissus. So let's talk about symbolism behind the myth. First is water, which we meet from the first line of the myth, and it goes on. Who was Narcissus? In ancient Greek mythology, Narcissus is a god of 6 rivers. The parents of Cephalus were Oceanus and Tethys, and in return, those parents were progenitors of all the gods. So from here becomes obvious the gods of Olympus were coming from water. Narcissus sees himself and drinks from the stream. The stream always personifies the water that must merge with something powerful and is doomed to be absorbed. Here comes narcissist self-absorption. And also, water is the beginning of life. According to theory of evolution, the first living organism appeared in the aquatic environment, and in addition, the life of each person begins in amniotic water of the mother. We are all unconsciously striving for that fusion, serenity, objectlessness in life. In other words, we are looking for this symbiosis with nature. And what is obvious for us that narcissist doesn't have the symbiosis with nature because his nature of himself is already distorted, is not real. He doesn't understand what he feels, and he doesn't understand feelings of others. The next symbol is parents and environment where Narcissus was born. Narcissus was conceived as a result of a rape. As Ovid writes, he was an unwanted child who didn't deserve not to have love, but he didn't get that love from his parents. So Narcissus had never been loved, he didn't know what love was. And when he met Echo, he didn't know what to do with her or with her love. For him, it was unknown and threatening object. So he decided to push her away just to protect his boundaries. And again, as we know, narcissists cannot love. They are unable of love because they don't know what love is. The next symbol and the most interesting is his reflection. When a narcissist looks in a stream and he sees a beautiful person, he is not aware that it's not him. So there is a confusion that narcissist loves himself, but he doesn't know that it's him, which means he falls in love with an object, not a subject. What I mean by that we as humans divide subjects and objects. We create relationship, we exchange, and we receive and give emotional feedback only from subjects, not from objects. Reflection is an object, which means Narcissus was not able to create relationship with anybody who was like him. He started creating and falling in love with an object. And you can apply exactly the same for narcissists because they are unable to see the world through the prism of subjects. For them, everything is an object. I am asking one object to receive another object. I am asking a person to receive his attention. So its two objects are here. What is also intriguing is that if you ever talk to yourself through the mirror, it gives you a strange feeling, as if you are hypnotized or paralyzed or numb. Um, it happens because you are not really communicating with a live person. It's a subject talking to an object. And what happens to our brain is capable of processing the information of receiving verbal and non-verbal signals from ourselves. And mirror neurons collapse. What are mirror neurons? Mirror neurons are responsible for empathy. Isn't it ironic that they are called mirror neurons? That's why people with autism don't have an empathy. Their neurons are not developed or functioning the same way as other people. And here is another interesting detail. The word narcissus comes from the Persian word nargis, from which the word narcosis is derived, and it means hypnotized, paralyzed, or numb, which again proves to us that narcissists, as if they were hypnotized, they live in an illusionary world, in hypnosis. Their reality is distorted, it's not real. So if you're still carrying a hope for treating a narcissist, that narcissist one day will see how great you are, that one day he finally will wake up from his hypnosis, it's a delusional because they are born this way. Or let's say, even if they were not born this way, it's developed and progressed so much that there is no rewinding, there is no turning back. They truly don't want to hurt you. You are just an object. They don't see any other ways. They can't switch on and off. That's it. Their world is different than yours. For that reason, you just can't change a narcissist. I hope this video was useful for you and interesting. Please leave comments and like.